Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Aim and Impact on Your Health. Aim and Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. Aim and Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. Aim Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, with all the festivities circulating around the activities, we've neglected to give you an open show. We're going to do that today. I got plenty on my plate to bring to you because I got to tell you, a lot is popping within Western Pennsylvania this week, this month, this year. And I'll certainly share all that with you today. But you may come in at any moment, if you've got a mind to, with as much as we've been presenting to you that you may want to comment on. The number to do that, if you feel you'd like to weigh in, is by dialing us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll listen for the knock on the door, and I will let you in the store. Now, of course, we got big days coming up. And this week in particular, it all starts tomorrow evening with the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group. Microcurrent is becoming the hottest topic, that I've seen in a long time coming through medicine. And it really identifies a paradigm shift. I believe once this shift occurs, it's not shifting back. The typical form of the treatment of disease is really failing. It's miserably failing. The conventional medical doctors are pretty much distraught over the fact that insurance companies dominate their every move, and they're making them see more patients a day. And we'll get into that as time moves on too. But with this new paradigm shift, frequency-specific microcurrent, I believe, is the new wave in medicine. It allows you, with the help of a clinician, to treat you by you at home with the help of those who can help devise the programs in order to do it. Electricity, electroceuticals are where this is going. And tomorrow night, we've got two of the most knowledgeable people coming to you at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group to launch to Western Pennsylvania this entire movement on frequency-specific microcurrent. Now, you've met them both many times here on the show. You've actually met one half of this group many times in the flesh. Of course, I'm talking about Charmaine Bassett. Charmaine Bassett Trim, who is a clinician from out near Toledo, Ohio. She was on our show just on Monday, and she's been using microcurrent since the inception. Anyway, she's going to be out there on Thursday night, as well as Shannon Gosen. Now, you've come to know her a little more recently than you have Charmaine, but we've been bringing her to this radio station each and every month since November of 2014, and she's coming to town to bring her expertise along with Charmaine bringing her own expertise to discuss frequency-specific microcurrent. Special meeting tomorrow night, Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group. Now, it's special because it's not going to be at the regular place. You know the regular place. Regular place is down there in Oakmont at Riverside Landing. There are religious festivities going on here because of the Orthodox Holy Week. It's like a week different, and consequently we couldn't have a meeting there, but we're going to have it at the American Slovenian Citizens Association. How about that one for Sylvia Provenza? Yeah, Slovenian Citizens Association. It's in Cheswick. Now, the easiest way I can tell you to find the place is if you were coming off the turnpike, that'll orient you, at the Allegheny Valley interchange. Normally, you'd get in the right lane so you could head down onto Oakmont, crossing the Holton Bridge. Not this time, you're not. When you get off at that exit, you're going to get in the left lane and merge onto the Freeport Road going north and go through the first traffic light about a quarter mile down the road, and just beyond it, on your left side, Heron Avenue. Turn left onto Heron Avenue. You go 2 blocks, and voila, there you are at the American Slovenian Citizens Association. This one-time meeting is all that we're going to hold there, but they were nice enough to consent on short notice to let us use the room. And with that being said, you get home, and you will be able. 7 o'clock is the start time for this thing, and who knows when it'll go on to. But with the dynamic duo of Charmaine Bassett and Shannon Gosen, both extremely skilled in frequency-specific microcurrent as clinicians, but equally skilled in teaching others about it, I think it's a great way for you to learn about frequency-specific microcurrent and set the stage for so many other things to come. Now, one of the things that will be coming from this, of course, is the very next day, we're holding a conference. The first conference, I believe, to be held in Western Pennsylvania on frequency-specific microcurrent. Now, this will be held at the Crown Plaza Hotel, and it'll be in the South Hills, directly across the street from South Hills Village on Fort Couch Road. It'll be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Depending on your level of expertise, will determine which day or days pertain to you. On Friday, April 10, which is the very next day now, is Layperson Day, and all those individuals who may be using microcurrent for themselves and their families right now, who want to learn more about how to use these devices, this is the day for you. And so that's April 10. We have a couple of slots left. Believe you me, it's a small group. We didn't go large. We went small, and there's only a couple slots left. You think you'd like to be a part of it, you can call us here at 724-942-3002 and ask for Sister Sarah. Now, on Saturday and Sunday, that's Saturday all day and Sunday for a half, we're going to continue with the Microcurrent Conference, still being presented by Shannon as well as Charmaine. Richard Finn's going to be there. Of course, I will be there, and on Saturday and Sunday. This is for practitioners. This is for people who actually treat other people, whether they're medical doctors, and I got a couple coming, osteopathic physicians, naturopaths, the massage therapy world, a lot of chiropractors, physical therapists. These are the people who really have to be brought up to another notch of training, and that's why their training is on a different day, and that's Saturday and Sunday, and literally just a couple slots left there if there's anybody out there interested. Once again, the number, 724-942-3002. So we launch frequency-specific microcurrent this week in a big way. Tomorrow night, out there at the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy Group at 7. Friday for lay people at the Crown Plaza. Saturday and Sunday also at the Crown Plaza for practitioners. If you want to learn more about this, head to the website conference.com. There you'll find the complete write-up on the event, all the details, the agenda, the speakers, the times, the places. There's a venue button to hit, and you'll bring up the hotel. If those who are traveling any distance want to stay overnight at the hotel, it's a full amenity hotel, by the way. You have our corporate rate available to you. So you can do it one of two ways. If you're on the website, use your cursor and click on the building, the actual building for the hotel, and you'll be given a prompt so that you can fill out online your reservations, and you'll get the $99 rate. And if you're calling by phone, the phone number is there at the website. You can also get that rate, but you'll have to make certain that you tell them you're with the conference and that you are utilizing the code for Courtney Medical Group, and you'll get the $99 rate for that. So I'll be more than likely talking about this as an afterthought, because Friday's show, I just won't be able to do that show live. Too much going on just before the conference, which starts at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be at the hotel, and I can't be here. So with that being said, we're going to play a repeat show for you, one that I'm sure you'll enjoy. This is the one with Cass Ingram just last month. You know, Cass came to town, and as he usually did, He made the run. He made the circuit on the radio shows. He was here with us on the 25th. I'm bringing him back to you on Friday. Cass Ingram once again. Bill had mentioned that I should mention to you on Friday, if you're hearing all these dates about him coming to town and he'll see you there and it's on Thursday night, you have to ignore that because it's already happened, folks. It was last month. Anyway, I thank Bill for having me remind you of that. Okay, other things. Let's get through this schedule. If that wasn't enough, what else is going on here in the month of March? Excuse me, month of April. I got to flip the page here. There we go. Let's see. Oh, next next Thursday night. For those of you who have an interest in Young Living and essential oils, we're going to have our own meeting here, sort of a South Hills group meeting put together by Sharon Bovalina. Everyone's invited who'd like to participate. The unique thing about this one is it's going to be held in the evening. We found that there's so many people that were not able to attend who wanted to attend because meetings were always being held during the day. So this one's going to be at 7 o'clock in my office, and it'll be on the 16th, Thursday the 16th. You're welcome to come. If you'd like to, how about calling us to reserve a slot? We got a pretty good group coming right now. I think you'll feel very much at home and that there'll be a lot of people here. And the number to do that, 724-942-3002. Talk to Sister Sarah. She'll get you enrolled. And then speaking of Sharon Bovalina, who is really involved with the Young Living group and essential oils in general, she's going to be on our radio show. You're going to have a chance to meet her. You never have, but I'll bring her on the show on the 24th of the month and talking about how to use the oils. What else? Oh, of course, an eye program this month. We have one each and every month. By now you know that we are an affiliate, the northern affiliate of the Dr. Ed Condrat Healing the Eye and Wellness program that he put together and has been promoting and allowing patients to be involved with for the last 14 years. We've been involved for 6 years, and we took over the place in July of 2013, and we've been running monthly programs on the eye treatment protocol. A 3-day program will get these eye diseases turned around, and they're ones that they're up till now believed to be unturnaroundable, if that's a word. Things like glaucoma and MACD, macular degeneration, of course, whether it's wet or dry, diabetic retinopathy, retinitis pigmentosa. These retinal diseases have, unfortunately, no real conventional therapy that can do a thing to get back what you lost, and more than likely can't even delay the onset any further of the disease and let it progress. It's just terrible to think that nothing can be done about these diseases from the conventional medical model, but the Dr. Condrat approach gets them turned around in 3 days. If you have an interest in becoming involved in the program for the month of April, the dates for this month's program is the 27th, 28th, and 29th, the last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the month. Call us here at 724-942-3002 to be able to reserve your slot. You want to talk to Sister Sarah? We got plenty of time left to get your records in and get them off to Dr. Condrat. He is involved with every case. He is the ophthalmologist in charge, and the programs that we placed in your microcurrent device, because this will require you to receive your own device that you'll keep after the 3-day program and continue to treat yourself in the home. These are all put together by Dr. Ed Condrat, specifically with your eye issues in mind. That's why we got to get those records down to him. Okay. I think I'm parched. Let's do this, folks. Let's take a short break. When we come back, it is being literally opened up to you. I got plenty to share with you on up-and-comings and things that are going on here. But you may want to come in at any moment and take over the place. To do that, dial us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll be back in just a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Wednesday morning version of the show, pre-frequency specific microcurrent weekend. The weekend starts early, as you well know, tomorrow night with the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy group. Hope to see you all up there. I will be there. Shannon will be there. Charmaine will be there. If you come, you'll leave with an enrichment on what microcurrent can do for you, and in terms of becoming involved at whatever level you feel comfortable with, you should see a path clearly laid out for you. No matter what your medical issues are, there is a frequency-specific microcurrent program with you in mind. Then, of course, our conference on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, laypersons all day. Saturday and Sunday, practitioners. Head to the website, microcurrentconference.com. That's microcurrentconference.com. All of the specifics will await you there at the website. Now, Monday's show. I'm going to finally have a chance to unveil to you one thing I've been rumoring with just little vignettes. On those of you out there with cataracts, we put together, along with Dr. Kondrat's help and guidance, what we'll call a cataract clinic, and I feel that we really have made a jump with taking care of the cataracts now that we heretofore have been unable to do. And it'll involve the drops, it'll involve a couple of devices, but when you team them all up, it's possible to get a major turnaround with cataracts in a very short period of time. So we're going to have our first cataract clinic in the month of May. If you have cataracts or know someone that does, and you're not too keen, and you really shouldn't be keen at all on the surgery to replace the lens with an artificial lens, I know some people just can't even imagine allowing someone to incise their eye and pop out the lens. But that's what happens. All done very clinical, of course, all done in an expert fashion, but it's that artificial lens that brings with it the problems. If you're trying to avoid that surgery, you deserve an opportunity to do so. I'll be talking about that on Monday, so you'll not want to miss that show on the Cataract Clinic up and coming for the month of May. Now, one thing else I wanted to bring to your attention, they've sort of been staring at me, they meaning multiple cases of books. And these books happen to be on chelation therapy and detoxification. Now, unbeknownst to you, because I don't think I ever mentioned it on air, what's been going on out there is Dr. Ed Kondrat has put together another great idea. The last great idea, he's had many, by the way, but the last great idea was, you remember about a year ago, whenever he had the top docs, the top 20 alternative doctors, and they met in Phoenix. And the upshot of it was he picked 20 of the top docs across the country, and we all wrote a chapter in a book, a publication that literally was published and it's still available in my office. And you benefited by having many of those docs on our show here, and we introduced them to you and their levels of expertise, and it was a great thing that Dr. Kondrat put together. Well, folks, he's done it again. Unbeknownst to you, he put this chelation therapy group of docs. Otherwise, I'm looking at the front page of the book right now. Top doctors sharing amazing stories why you need chelation therapy. Top docs for detox. That's what this one's all about. Now, there are not 20 of them. I counted them up. There's 17 docs. So 3 shy of 20, not bad, who have written another chapter in a book. Actually, this was interesting because Dr. Kondrat does a radio show that is broadcast out of Phoenix, Arizona. He does it on Sunday night. By the way, I will be his guest on this Sunday show, KFXN 100 Radio. If you want to hear the show, it'll be broadcast at 8 o'clock live from Phoenix. and I'll be talking about chelation therapy. He asked me to come aboard, and I absolutely consented to do so. But you will need to know that next weekend, uh, we all meet, all 17 of us, as well as anybody else who wanted to come, and it's open to the lay public. I love this about Dr. Kondrat. He involves the lay person community in every single thing that he does. They're invited in, they're part of the group, and they will be in St. Petersburg, Florida at the Dolphin Resort for our presentation of the chapters once again. So there's 17 of us docs. We'll all be presenting our chapter, but get a load of this. The book is already published. I've had the book for about a week and a half. I haven't mentioned it on air. If you like the concept of being having one of a kind, I can tell you this is pretty interesting to look at. Doctors who contributed, you know some of them. Terry Chappell. It's been quite a while since I had Terry on the radio show. Okay, Robert Rowan, you know him very well. How about Dr. Lee Cow? You can't do anything in alternative medicine without him being involved, because he is so involved with all aspects of it. David Nebling, he's a friend of mine, been on the radio show. He's from up in Lansing, Michigan. Who else we have? Oh, how about Gary Gordon himself? He's the godfather of chelation. I mean, he was there at the beginning of chelation therapy, dating back to the late 50s and early 60s. He was there. Gary Gordon wrote a chapter. Robin Seek, a good friend of mine from Connecticut, and Dr. Ed Condra has a chapter in the book too. So if you think you'd like to have a one-of-a-kind, we have them now. The Top Docs in Detox, Methods to Save Your Life, is going to be, well, it's the name of the publication. It'll be the name of the conference, and I'll be participating in that conference next weekend. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'll come back with many of these docs scheduled to come on the radio show and let them introduce their little take. Now, these are the best doctors in the country on chelation, but they all had a special message over and above the standard message for how you do chelation and detoxification. And so from their own little avenues of pursuit, they bring a hidden message, one that I think tough to find for you as a layperson from your vantage point, and it's to share with you their secrets and the things they rarely get a chance to discuss. That's what the book is all about. Top doctors share amazing stories why you need chelation therapy. What has happened here is Ed had all 17 of us on his radio show at KFXN, and then he transcribed the interview. And so what it is 17 or 18 interviews of radio guests of Ed's that are well recognized as experts in chelation therapy, and that's how the book came about, and that's why the book is already published, and that's why we're all headed down to St. Petersburg, Florida next weekend. Thought I'd let you know about it at this particular juncture. The books are available in my office. Okay. We've opened it up to you today, folks. You can come on here at any moment and set the agenda as you see it. The number to do that is to dial us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll listen for that knock on the door, and I will let you in the store. Now, a couple things additionally, if I don't have enough already on the plate, a couple other things I'd like to delve out to you in small portions, of course. This comes right out of the newspaper yesterday, which was loaded with medically related articles. I really enjoyed reading the articles. Front page, opening salvo, when something like this, I'm reading from the byline from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review, the opener, top above the fold. Winter parting gifts include allergen uptick. Now, this was a description on how our extended cold weather period, and boy, did we get to, what is this thing with the, can anybody tell me the global warming thing? I mean, are they still trying to sell that thing with global warming? I don't know. I'm pretty much a non-participant in that crazy movement. But nonetheless, they say the extended cold weather we had and the precipitation that went along with it. It bloom delay giving pollen a more powerful wallop when finally the allergy season begins. They are estimating that this allergy season is going to pack a bigger punch than usual because with all the cold there and a delay in blooming, when the plants finally do bloom, there's going to be a gush of these airborne allergens that reach us in a concentration not normally seen because of that delayed, I guess, opening salvo. So I thought it was appropriate, at least, to mention, as much as we talk about LDA and LDI, this low dose antigen therapy, and we've sort of gotten, well, not off track, I think it's a unique track, that low dose immunotherapy that's really been developed quite extensively by Dr. Ty Vincent, the fellow from Wasilla, Alaska, and has identified so many autoimmune diseases as now treatable and fixable. We've really spent an abundance of time bringing that message to you. I think it's a powerful message to think that you can treat autoimmune diseases and actually fix it. And of course, how about that revelation of Dr. Ty Vincent's that Lyme's disease is, besides being microbial, which is usually the kickoff, you get bit by a tick and the Borrelia infection begins. But what he finally identified, and it was not really known before, was that this thing evolves and changes into not just a microbial infection, but it turns into an autoimmune disease. And once that happens, you can give all the antibiotics you want to, and you're not going to be able to eradicate the disease. It'll have to be taken on its own terms as an autoimmune disease, and that's where LDI, low-dose immunotherapy, comes in. Now, we've spoken so much about the autoimmune treatment capability of low-dose antigen therapy that we've neglected to talk about the classical forms of treatment, which involve inhaled allergens, foods, and chemicals. This is where it all started way back in 1993 when the originator of this technique in the United States, his name is Dr. William Butch Schrader, first brought this treatment to the forefront, treating allergies to a point where you actually can fix them. And inhaled allergies was right up at the top of the list. Now, I mention it to you now because with this up-and-coming expectation that this allergy season is going to be a real devil in terms of the extra punch that it's going to pack with all the cold we had and the delayed blooming of the plants that will finally release their pollen all in one gush. You need to know this is now the time to do LDA. Unfortunately, if you're a seasonal allergy sufferer and the season has begun and you're sneezing away and you've got all sorts of upper respiratory consequences to the exposure of the allergen, you can't even do LDA at that point because it's too late for this year if you wait that long. So seeing this article as I did and realizing that if you take this by the horns early, and now is early, and you can do it now, you can get your first injection out of the way with low-dose antigen therapy to classical allergies, whether they're inhaled, which is what we're talking about, having one hell of an onslaught of when allergy season hits, whether they are foods, which uniquely enough have never had a immunological therapy that worked to fix them, so you don't have to worry about eliminating foods. I mean, that was the way that you had to deal with food allergies in the past. There was some pretty sophisticated testing that could point out which foods were a problem for you, but you brought in your own treatment, and because the treatment was nothing more, well, look, you got to eliminate them from the diet. You can't have them. And if you did that, and it was a trade-off, you were able to not have to have any of the symptoms that went along with their exposure. But LDA brings the possibility of correcting the problem so you don't have to avoid the foods, that you'll be able to eat, consume the foods once again. It's the only treatment I know that does that. Allergy doctors, I think I've told you before, can only treat inhaled allergens. They cannot, they are not allowed to treat food allergies because, quite honestly, the dilution of the serum that they make are only a dilution of 10 to the fifth, and at 10 to the fifth, that's still too whopping a dose to give it administer to somebody who has, how about somebody with a peanut allergy and anaphylaxis that can result from it? It will and has, by the way. Unfortunately, there have been people who went to visit their allergist and they did not come home because they got one of those whopping doses of something, and it was an over. The system just reacted to shut down immediately and caused a life-threatening situation. Anyway, this allergy season is supposed to be an extremely tough one coming up. If you know that you have seasonal allergies, now's the time to come on in to see us so that we can get those first injections out of the way. My job is to sit down and find out, of the 3 possibilities at my disposal, which one or ones are applicable to you. Talking about seasonal allergies, certainly the inhaled allergens, a whole group of the inhaled allergens. And I want to mention that no testing is necessary at all. I think that's a big change from what allergists do, where they do those skin tests, and then they read what you respond to, and then they develop a serum based on all the positive responses that they read from the skin tests that they have already administered. In the case of LDA, the mixture, let's take the inhaled, has all of the allergens in it that you could possibly be exposed to. So who needs to test? They're all in there. And the fact that they're at a dilution of 10 to the 17th, which is 3 short of homeopathic, that seems to be enough so that you'll still get one heck of an immunological response, but you won't ever have to worry about a devastating and anaphylactic response. No one has ever been injured by utilizing these allergens that we use, these mixtures with LDA, because the dilution is so minute that when you get to 10 to the 17th, you don't have to worry about anaphylactic reactions. There just aren't any. So if you are worried about the up-and-coming allergy season, and it's going to hit in the next month or so, once these flowers start blooming, you got to do them now. Get that particular injection out of the way. Nice thing about LDA injections is they're only given once every 2 months, unlike the allergist who will need to do his injections once a week forever. LDA does these injections into the dermal layer, right into the skin, brings up a little bubble. You can see it right there underneath the skin once every 2 months for a year, before probably at that point you can be spread them out to maybe once every 6 months and once every year, and we'll never have those reactions again. A nice thing about it is if you are a seasonal allergy sufferer only, and you don't have any other allergic responses, you just get these terrible events once or twice a year, the likelihood that you can be treated within the first 6 months and never have to have those responses again is what we've seen over and over again. So a great possibility for you to take charge of your own issues by using LDA and avoid this now newly predicted allergy season that's going to pack more of a wallop, more of a punch this year than any previous years because of the cold snap we had and the delay of the blooming of the plants that are going to release the pollen. And that's the end of that. Hey, we got a knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard. It's on your mind. Go right ahead.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hello.
A couple of questions.
Sure.
Hey, Monday Charmaine mentioned about ADP, microcurrent enhancing it. I see on the shelves at the stores you can buy a supplemental ATP. Is that workable?
First of all, yeah, you're right. It is ATP, not ADP. That's something else, by the way. So ATP is literally chemical energy released by the burning of foods and happens in the body, right? So with microcurrent, the number that you heard, by the way, it's a staggering number. She said and the research indicates that you get a 500% increase in the production of ATP with the first treatment, like a 90-minute treatment, and you get 500% improvement in ATP. Now, that's real ATP performing the functions that all the cells will be able to act and do what they do much better with the release of additional ATP than they would do without it. I don't know what it is that the health food stores are selling, Sam. I mean, I'm not sure, but I don't believe you can bottle that stuff. I don't know what machination of the language they're using to say that they're going to increase your ATP. More than likely, it has to do with fuels and the kind of burning that can take place. Simple sugars are usually what's burned to make energy. If they have some other food source that has the ability to be metabolized and form greater amounts of ATP, let's just say I'm unfamiliar with it, but I guess it's possible.
Is there a microcurrent frequency that would treat Lyme disease?
There is no microcurrent frequency for Lyme disease per se. Okay.
I guess.
Okay, but remember, there is a frequency for all the pathologies. So let's take Lyme disease. Well, Lyme disease brings along with it one heck of an inflammatory process, right? Well, there is a specific frequency to counteract inflammation. Shut it down. Just turn it off. So Lyme disease, as well as so many other diseases, have an inflammatory component, and no matter what the disease, the inflammation will be in a major way impacted upon and brought to a conclusion based by using the frequency. How about this one? In the case of many diseases, including Lyme's disease, there is a toxicity issue. Okay, well, there are frequencies to turn off the toxicities that the body generates and give you self-protection no matter what the disease. So there is not a frequency for Lyme's. There just are multiple frequencies in terms of the pathologies that are involved and the tissues that exemplify the pathology. As I guess at least we've taught you by now, there's a frequency pair that we program, and we have multiple pairs in any one program that always has the issue directed against the tissue. And so putting that pair in determines how long a program is going to be. I've had some programs that I've written that are over in 10 minutes. I have a couple other programs that I've written that aren't over until 6 hours. And so patients can't even do that unless they go to sleep with the leads attached. Works out quite nicely, by the way. They can be treated while they're sleeping. So let's just say Lyme's disease, no, but all the aspects of Lyme disease, yes.
Well, you just brought up another point right there about these leads off your devices. Because I think Charmaine kind of alluded to, Shannon has too, about is there some kind of tutorial out there that shows you the placement of these leads for your treatment plan? Yeah,
well, first of all, anytime anybody has ever been instructed, how to say that, anytime any clinician has instructed a patient on how to use their device, the issue of leads is usually always explained. There are 4 leads, and they must be what's called interferential. That term is really important because what it means is that the frequencies have to cross the planes of the body in 2 directions. One, I guess a nice way to put this is, think of just lying on your stomach, and you want to make sure you're getting frequencies to the musculature of the back. How would you do that? Well, you'd put one lead over the left shoulder, one lead over the right shoulder, one lead over the left flank, and one lead over the right flank. And so there they are, sort of like 4 corners, right? Then as long as that current is passing, crossing the body midline, with its current, it's interacting with the one that's coming from the other double set of leads, and that reaction is what optimizes the frequency responses so that it must cross planes and it must intersect itself. Who figured this out? I think this has been figured out a long time ago, but whenever a clinician is trained in applying leads, we teach them how to apply those leads. And anytime a clinician is teaching a patient how to use the box, how to use a device, placing the leads, they'll just tell you, here's where you put the leads. You don't need to do the figuring out because you're not the clinician. But if you were a clinician, you have to make sure you instruct patients on the lead placement, because you can literally, the treatment could be worthless. If the leads aren't placed right, the treatment will be worthless. The leads must be placed in the proper place. And so obviously we're going to take painstaking efforts to make certain that every patient knows that, and every practitioner learns how to determine where the leads need to be placed. It's not that tough, actually, but that the placement of them is a key, absolute key.
Hey, on your LDI shots, if a person has Lyme disease and they're taking LDI shots, is that for an ever-going thing, that ongoing?
No, remember, with any of the low-dose immunotherapies or antigen therapies, however you describe it, the intention is that once we know we have the right antigen, then you do those injections once every 2 months for a full year. So if it's for Lyme's disease, that's exactly the same for the Lyme's disease patient as it is for somebody with hay fever, okay? And at the end of the year, you start opening up the window. Instead of doing them once every 2 months, you may be able to open up to once every 3, and then maybe once every 6 months. And then by the time you get to the 3rd year, you may have to do 1 injection per year. So the intention is always to widen it out and have more time in between injections. And by the time you get to the year, you should be able to do that, whether it's for Lyme's or whether it's for hay fever or whether it's for food allergies. It all works out to be about the same.
You had a customer call in once before who had the allergy shots. She had like a red swelling at the site. Would that be the same thing for autoimmune shots too?
Oh, by the way, when I administer the injection to the forearm, and that's usually where I put them, just within the skin, bring up a little bubble, I usually see a pretty nice red circle around the injection almost immediately. And then I tell the patient, you know what? You need to go out here in the waiting room and sit down for about another 10 minutes and let me see it again. 10 minutes later, the size of these usually quadruple sometimes. This is all a good sign, because what it's showing is that there are immunological reactions that are occurring at or near the site immediately. I think it's safe to say that if there were not to be any reaction at all, that wouldn't be good. The fact that there is a reaction, it's not a painful reaction. At worst, maybe it itches, although you have to avoid the temptation to scratch. But these are all good signs that immunological reactions are occurring. And usually after about 10 minutes, I'm comfortable enough to let the patient leave and go on home.
Well, you answered my next question right there.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, last question. If I'm going to use your liposomal vitamin C, can I utilize or supplement that with, I think Arnold Takamoto had an oral chelator and a liquid bottle, I guess. Could one supplement one with the other?
Well, the whole thing was that the reason Arnold Takamoto, Sir Arnold Takamoto, who is the head of a company called Bioimmune. The name of his company is called Bioimmune. And he's such a star because he's the one that came up with liposomal forms of vitamin C with his product now famous called Ultra Absorbic C. But he did the same thing when it came to EDTA, which also is very poorly absorbed, just like vitamin C is poorly absorbed. So in those 2 cases, he developed a product that made them liposomal so that you almost absorb 100% of what you take in. That's in stark contrast, by the way, to the vitamin C that's water soluble that typically people purchase, because 99.9% of the time it's going to be a water soluble form of vitamin C. You only absorb 3% of that. 97% of that goes out of the body during the next bowel movement. To lose, if you're taking 1,000 milligram capsule, and to think only 30 milligrams at best you're getting in, that's a little bit of a poor trade-off, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's why I was asking. You were mentioning chelation earlier, and I was wondering maybe like a poor man's chelator would be a supplement of liposomal C along with his oral EDTA.
That's not even a poor man's substitute. That's an absolutely wonderful substitute. What that's allowing you to do is avoid doing IV EDTA, and when you can do it orally, as you can do with these preparations of Arnold, and he's the only one that makes the fat-soluble form of EDTA. There are a couple other companies that actually make a liposomal form of vitamin C, but he's the only one that makes the EDTA in that form. Two great products. The company's called Body Bio. We send that stuff all over the country. Patients usually start with us. Wherever they move to, they have difficulty getting it. We end up sending it to them.
Yeah, that's my plan because I can't really get to your McMurray office.
Absolutely. Okay, Sam.
All right, thanks, Doc.
Absolutely. Wonderful questions on all accounts, the LDA as well as the liposomal forms of vitamin C and so on. Have a go. All right, folks, here we are. We're coming into that gun lap. Let's take a real short break, allowing if anybody else that wants to weigh in on anything. The number to do that is 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. We'll be back in a moment with about 8 minutes left to go. Be right back. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. We're here with you today on a Wednesday morning version of the show, and getting a lot of things off the plate, allowing you to come on in too if you got a mind to, by dialing us up at 412-825-6262. I listen for that knock on the door, and I'll let you in the store. By the way, I just heard a knock. Come on in the store. Hello, and welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Hey, I was just listening to your radio station and about the gentleman talking about the vitamin C. I take like 2,000 milligrams a day, but it's, you know, the over-the-counter kind with rose hips. And I'm listening to you. I'm finding out that I only get like 30%.
Oh, does that make you angry, by the way? It would make me angry.
Very upset.
Yeah, remember, with vitamin C, there's always two issues that one needs to keep in mind. My listeners seem to know this very well, and so now I pass it on to you. First is that you always want to make certain that the kind of vitamin C you get is non-corn derived. That's a very important component because 99.9% of all vitamin C comes, believe this or not, from corn. Now, I didn't know that when I first learned it, but I can tell you, you can take that to the bank. That's absolutely true. The unfortunate.
I'm sorry. Will it say that on the bottle, non-corn derived?
In the couple of cases where the company has taken painstaking steps to make sure it was non-corn derived, they plaster that on the label. Okay. If your supplement doesn't say anything at all, you can just assume it's corn derived. And remember, 99.9% is corn derived. You can't use the corn derived because it's genetically modified corn, and so that's the first thing. about vitamin C that you have to become a educated consumer about, because nobody's telling you about that out there in the streets, right?
Thank you.
The other thing is, of course, that vitamin C naturally is a water-soluble substance. And anything that's water-soluble is very, very poorly absorbed by the GI tract. I did tell you the right number. Only 3% of what you take in by mouth ever gets into the bloodstream. So if you took a 1,000-milligram tablet, which when you look at it, looks like it'll choke a horse. That's how big it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you get that thing down, it's a major accomplishment. But to find out, after all that work of getting it done, you only absorb 30 milligrams. That's why I got your dander up, your ire up this morning when you found that out. So you need to be looking for products that do two things. One, that have a source that allows you to purchase your vitamin C in a non-corn derived way. By the way, the most frequently used non-corn derived sources are: number one, beet, which is very rare to find anymore; two, cassava root; and number three, and the one that seems to be in the running, believe it or not, is something called tapioca. I didn't even know that was a vegetable. I thought it was a lump in a pudding. Hey, it's a real vegetable.
Wow. Okay.
So that usually the label will have which one of those three sources. Then, of course, the other thing, it should be, see the word liposomal. When it's liposomal, it's already made fat soluble, which means if you take 1,000 milligrams of a fat soluble vitamin C, you will absorb almost the full 1,000, which was worth the bang for the buck, right?
Uh-huh.
There you go. Pass it on.
Wow. Thank you so much. I am just so upset because I thought I was doing a good thing for my body.
Well, you were in a way. Look, let's just say this. Your intention was pure, but you have been a victim of an uneducated public that, with all the great intentions, look where that took you. Not really too far. So,
when is it a good time to get or to look into intravenous vitamin C?
well, of course, we do. There are a few doctors in the area, but we have done, will do, and continue to do a large number of patients weekly on IV vitamin C.
Oh,
and when you do that, you bypass the gut completely. We're talking about doses. Usually we do 50,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That's our standard dose. And a peripheral vein can tolerate that quite nicely. In certain diseases, we go much higher than that and will require a special IV line in those cases. But for 50,000 milligrams and under, that's easily tolerated by anybody, and we do them frequently.
Thank you. Where are you located?
We're here in McMurray, Pennsylvania on Route 19 South. How about this checkpoint? South Hills Village Mall. You know where that is?
Yeah.
Well, most women certainly know where that is. So you just continue on Route 19 about 3 or 4 miles beyond South Hills Village, and you'll come to me. Give us a call here at 724-942-3002. We'll steer you in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything you do.
Hey, thank you for the call. Appreciate that, too. All right, folks, we're coming up on the. Bill's going to start hitting the chopstick thing again. Just want to be ready for it. Look, really hope to see you tomorrow night at the Freedom and Choice in Cancer Therapy group session. It is a special place for tomorrow night. Remember, not at the usual place. It's not going to be down there in Oakmont at Riverside Landing. This is their Holy Week down there. They have religious activities. They're not allowed to use the facility for festive occasions, and we certainly consider ourselves a festive occasion. So for this one meeting, it's going to be held at the American Slovenian Citizen Association. That's at 230 Heron Avenue. You go up 28, the Freeport Road, and just beyond where the turnpike spills into Freeport Road, about a quarter of a mile, there's a red light, and just beyond it on your left, Heron Avenue, Heron 230. See you there, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. There's Bill with the chopsticks. Hey, glad you enjoyed the show today. I really enjoyed bringing it to you. Won't be with you on Friday. See you on Monday talking about cataract clinics. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for and impact on your health.